Annyeong, it's Mikey here, and guys, this is the last video on the Wuque Studio BigLucky Switches. This is the tactile. So we have the tactile right here in this bag. So we've done the clicky, we've done the linear. Now, the clicky was really nice. I think it was really well done with like a little bit of a thok at the end of it. The linear was on the clacky side, but I would say a little bit on like, if you were really considering it in a musicality tone, the linear was going to be on the slightly deeper sounding clack, while this one we're gonna have to see what this one is like, and of course I'll have in the video like comparing the previous like the Wuque Studio BigLucky ones with the clicky and the linear, and then adding in the tactile, and then we'll see what you guys think at the end and what I think. So let's go into that. Let's go see what these switches are like, but please make sure to like and subscribe. Now this is the Wuque Studio BigLucky Tactile switch. So as you can see, the housing is a blue color with a blue stem with a nice light diffuser right there in the middle. The switch itself is really decently made. I really did appreciate what Wuque Studio is doing with the BigLucky switches, the whole set. Please don't mind my hands. I just had an allergic reaction before, which just really upset my hands there. Now, this is the information of the switch itself, so you can see what it's built out of and the spring. I'm going to be doing a sound test with my favorite Aqua switch and as well as the previous BigLucky, so let's do all the sound tests. So we've done all the sound tests of the Wuque Studio BigLucky Switch, the tactile, and this tactile is interesting in the fact that you get a heavy tactile bump feel, but the switch itself does feel light in terms of these switches. I would say that it is on the clackier side. I did feel that it was definitely on the clackier side, but again with the tonality of a little bit of a deeper sound. I think that Wuque Studios is doing a great job in terms of these switches. Like the Big Lucky is a big upgrade, big upgrade compared to what it used to be. The Mirandi's was one of the best sounding switches that Wuque Studio ever did, and I would love to see them actually be able to do something like that with the way that they did the Big Lucky. It'd be interesting to see. I would love to see that happen. Wuque Studio, as you guys see this video, please make it happen. I'd love to have an upgraded Mirandi switch because I really liked how they sounded. But of course, let's go into opening up the switch, taking a little bit of a look, and see if they really are good for RGB, backlighting, and more. So let's go right into that.
Now this is the tactile switch. I hope the sound test helped you guys to hear what it sounds like. Now this switch itself is a lighter tactile feel. I would say not on the super heavy side. So for those that do like a heavy tactile feel, just keep in mind, this is not that kind of tactile. You do feel the bump itself for sure, but it's going to be a bit lighter once you lube the switch. And let me let you hear it. So as you guys could hear, even just on the switch itself, it does have a higher pitch to it. The tactile feel itself is pretty decent. And let me give you guys a reminder of the information of the switch again. So as you can see there, the pricing on these switches is not too bad. I would say it's about 45 cents USD per switch if you do individually. And as I was mentioning, the tactile feel on this thing is going to be a little bit on the lighter side, but like the bump itself, you can feel it a little bit. So it's not a heavy tactile, but you can still feel it more than say like the Aqua Cilantro, which once you lube the Aqua Cilantro, the bump is a lot smoother. The Wuque Studio tactile one is actually, even with lube, you can still feel the bump, but it's still a pretty light bump, not as smooth as say like the Cilantro. Now, as you can see here, we're going to be opening it up. As you saw how I opened it, I couldn't use a switch opener, so I actually used my switch puller to actually pull the tabs off. This is the stock stem, so this is how it's lubed. It does come slightly lubed on the sides. I would say though that the stock lubing is not amazing. It still feels a little bit scratchy. I would say that if you were to compare this with say like HMX switches out there, which stock very light lubing, doesn't need extra lube, and it's actually worse to lube it on top, it's better to just leave it as is stock and it's still super smooth. This one on the other hand, not as smooth. I think maybe just towards like how the stem is built with the spring, not super smooth for sure. You can see the bottom housing right there as well. Maybe in terms of like the engraving that has on the sides of the stem is what is causing it, but these definitely need to be hand lubed. I would say that if you don't hand lube these switches, you will definitely feel a bit of scratchiness, especially if you're someone who's sensitive to it. Especially if you've been in the hobby for a while, you will definitely notice it for sure. So keep in mind, if you are getting these, I would highly suggest just lightly lubing on the outside of the switch itself. And you know what, if you guys do need another video of me doing how I lube switches or a good video for it, I can definitely do it again, especially because I have an upgraded camera since the last time I actually did one. Now, this is the spring itself, and it is a quite short spring. I was expecting a little bit longer, but no, this is like a 15 millimeter spring. That's what it seems like. So keep in mind, it's going to be a little bit on the shorter side. The bounce back on these switches does not feel as strong as say some of the other switches I've tried out there, especially ones with like the 18 millimeter distance or some even with 21. This is definitely going to be a little bit of a lighter bounce back, and because of that, I'm not a huge fan of it. I actually personally like longer springs, single stage. It's just personally what I prefer. Now, this is going to be the stem wobble test here. So as we go into it, you can see here on the top end, you're pretty much getting very little wiggle. So this is a nice thing that Wuque Studio did, and I have to compliment them on this because it's not easy to make a stem that has very little or no stem wobble. See, I tried to see if I could get the keycap to shake on the top end, but I could not. And as you can see, even on the bottom, and once you press it down, it does not wobble. Like, they did an amazing job, and I think Wuque Studio is going in the right direction. Though, please make these be able to open with a switch opener. It just saves so much time for those that want to lube it. And second, it would help in terms of, future stuff with maybe doing a different type like a Mirandi. That would be awesome. I'm going to say it again. Sorry. Third video, have to say it again. Now, this is the backlighting test, and right now we're going with the blue lighting, and I'm just trying to go into the settings to really change up the lighting color so I can give you guys a really good look of what you're getting with the switch in terms of the light accuracy. Now, as you can see here, this is actually the white lighting. So does the housing color affect the backlighting? Now, on camera, it looks like it's quite blue, right? The thing is, that's only on camera. When you actually look at it with your visible eyes, it actually is going to be a lot whiter. I think on camera, it is hitching it as a little bit more blue. And the switches on the outside that are pinkish, that's actually a completely different switch. That's my Keeps and Cable Taro switch, which makes the lighting different. As you can see how a switch housing can affect the color, this is what I mean. The Taro switch actually does affect the lighting heavily, where it makes it pinkish red, while the Wuque Studio's Big Lucky Switches, I feel that they don't actually affect the lighting much. This is just with how the light diffuser is. It really is done well, where the lighting will actually be able to go right through it. Just keep in mind though, it is a white light, and in person, it will look a lot whiter than blue. Now, going into looking at all three of the Big Lucky Switches, we have the tactile on the right, the middle is the clicky, and the left is the linear. I think Wuque Studio has done a great job. I think the clicky out of all three is actually the best one. It's the one that was done incredibly well. And this is coming from someone who doesn't like clicky switches. I think the tactile switch is okay, especially if you are someone who does like something a little bit more on the clacky side. You could enjoy these, especially if you like something with a bit of a, I would say, a stronger tactile bump, but not heavy. Heavy meaning like pressing it is feeling heavier. The linear switch is on the clacky side, but I don't feel that it's incredibly smooth. And the clacky sound, it's not as nice and crisp as say like an HMX switch. It's still clacky, but just not as crisp. The clicky, I just think has a really nice click with a nice stock on the bottom, which doesn't need any lubing or anything at all. And I'll have the links in the description for you guys to check these out.
Hope this video helped you guys. I really was trying my best in making all the best sound tests as possible that we can do, and comparing them. I'm really hoping that all these switch videos and switch review videos that I do is really helpful for everyone, and really will help make a good decision for yourselves in terms of what switches to get. I think the Big Luckies are a big upgrade than what they used to be. I think the clicky one is kind of worth grabbing if you are interested in a clicky switch. The other two, I would say it really depends on your personal preference. I personally am not a big fan on the clacky side, except for HMX switches for some reason. HMX I really do enjoy, but it's something for you guys to check out. I'll have the links in the description for all three switches, and of course, link the other two switches in this video for you guys. So go check them out, do a comparison for yourselves, and check out the other videos I got as well. And I have to catch you guys next time.